Hey guys, welcome back to R.M.Aviation. Today we'll be discussing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370, or Mh370 as a lot of people may know it. Was a scheduled international passenger flight from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, or KUL, to Malaysia to Beijing Capital International Airport, BEK, in China. On the 8th of March 2014, the Boeing 777-200ER aircraft carrying 227 passengers and 12 crew vanished while flying over the South China Sea, leading to one of the most perplexing and widely discussed aviation mysteries in history. The aircraft was a Boeing 777-200ER registered 9M MRO. Route was Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, and date of disappearance was March the 8th, 2014. Passengers and crew, 227 passengers and 12 crew. Fatalities, 239, all presumed deceased. Time of event. The departure from Kuala Lumpur, the aircraft took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport at 12:41 a.m. local time. Everything seemed normal. The aircraft was on its way to Beijing, and the initial flight path was expected, with communication from the cockpit being standard. 2. Final communication. Around 1:19, the last communication occurred between the cockpit and the air traffic controllers. The final words from the pilots were, "Good night, Malaysian 370. This was a routine exchange where there was no indication of any distress or problems. The plane was cruising at an altitude of 35,000 feet and was expected to maintain this course for 6 to 7 hours. The disappearance from radar. At 1:21 a.m., just minutes after last communication, the aircraft's transponder, which transmits data about the aircraft's position, speed, and altitude to air traffic controller, was turned off and ceased communicating. Shortly thereafter, the plane's radar signal was lost. However, military radar continued to track the plane for some time, indicating that it made a sharp turn to the west and was flying back across the Malay Peninsula, heading in the opposite direction to its original route. Flight path analysis. As the flight continued, satellite data from the plane's communication system, known as Aircraft Communication Addressing and Reporting System, or ACARS, provided evidence that the aircraft flew for several more hours. This satellite data, known as handshakes, allowed the aircraft to continue flying in a southern direction across the South China Sea and then into the southern Indian Ocean. The final satellite handshake occurred at 8:19 a.m. GMT, about 7 hours after takeoff, suggesting that the plane remained airborne for several hours after losing contact. Search and rescue efforts. Immediately after the aircraft went off radar, authorities initiated search and rescue operations. The search initially focused on the area where the plane disappeared from radar, but was soon expanded to the vast regions of the South China Sea and the Straits of Malacca. After the satellite data suggested that the plane had flown southwards after the search was redirected to the southern Indian Ocean, despite extensive efforts by several countries including Australia, Malaysia and China, no wreckage was found for months. Key investigation findings. Uncertainty about the cause. The cause of the aircraft's disappearance remains uncertain, so as no distress signals or indications of hijacking or mechanical failures were transmitted from the plane. The lack of communication from the flight and crew and the aircraft's unexpected deviation from the route led to widespread speculation. Theories of the disappearance include hijacking and terrorism. Some speculated that the plane had been hijacked and there was no definite evidence to support this. And in addition, the flight crew was considered to be highly experienced and no claims of responsibility for hijacking emerged. Pilot involvement. Another theory suggested the possibility of pilot involvement, but no clear motive or proof was ever established. Mechanical failure. A more conventional theory that was a major mechanical failure which led to the plane's deviation and eventual crash. However, this theory was undermined by the fact that there was no emergency distress signals were sent and satellite data indicated a steady flight path rather than an emergency descent. Hypoxia, decompression. Some believe that the loss of cabin pressure might have incapacitated the cabin and crew, and including passengers, leading to a plane flying on autopilot until it eventually ran out of fuel and crashed. Wreckage found. Over the following years, debris from the plane washed up on several islands in the Indian Ocean, including Reunion Island, where a flaperon was found in July 2015. These findings confirmed that the plane had indeed crashed into the southern Indian Ocean, far from its intended flight path. The search area was expanded with the Australian Transport Safety Bureau, or ATSB, leading the investigation into the aircraft's final location. However, an exhaustive search spanning several years, the main wreckage of the aircraft was not located. The search of the seventh arc. The most promising lead came from the satellite data, which suggested that the aircraft's final location could be within an area known as the seventh arc, a curve of potential crash sites based on satellite head shakes. Extensive searches efforts within the seventh arc were launched, covering a vast area of the southern Indian Ocean. However, the search was eventually suspended in 2018 after the wreckage was not found. The official investigation finding. The ATSB conducted that the plane's location was likely somewhere along the seventh arc based on the satellite data. They were unable to identify a definitive area to determine the cause of the disappearance or the lack due to indirect evidence. The investigation was officially concluded without identifying the exact cause of the disappearance. The final report issued in 2018, stated that the plane's loss was likely caused by uncontrolled flight after the plane ran out of fuel, but because the event remained undetermined. Theories and speculation. Over the years, numerous theories and speculation have been put forward, including pilot suicide, the possibility that one of the pilots have intentionally diverted the aircraft and caused it to crash, mechanical failure or a fire, a catastrophic mechanical failure such as a fire that disabled the crew and the plane's communication systems, hijacking and terrorism. With no clear direct evidence, some continued to theorize that the plane was hijacked by an individual with a specific agenda. Conclusion and ongoing questions. The disappearance of Malaysian Airlines flight Mh370 remains one of the greatest mysteries in aviation history. Despite a massive search and efforts spanning several years and the exact circumstances surrounding the plane's disappearance remains unknown, some wreckages have been found, but the main body of the aircraft and the black boxes which could provide crucial answers have never been located. Theories abound, but there are no definitive answers, leading families on board those such aircraft in the aviation community grappling with unanswered questions about what happened to Mh370. The search of the missing plane was officially suspended, but some still hold hope that the new technology and breakthroughs could one day lead to the discovery of the aircraft's final resting place and closure to this tragedy. Please comment to what you think might have happened in this accident and any theories you may have, as there's a lot of theories out there. And like and subscribe if you're interested in this kind of content, as we'll be releasing more over the coming days. Thank you.